Okay, hello guys. Episode 146. My name is Frank, musician, photographer here in the Midwest. Today we're going to have a special guest, Mr. Andy Marshall. But first, we're going to see who pops in. Welcome, guys. Sunday night is cold outside too, and so I'm going to show you guys. Took a little screenshot of how cold it is. And there you go, -4. That's how it was today, and apparently it's going to be like this the next couple of days too. So, and we're getting more snow. So if you pop in, let me know how cold it is in your neck of the woods. We got 3 people in here, and that's very special guest Andy Marshall. We'll kick it off in about 10 minutes. I'll bring him in. He's in the chat room. What's up, Cato? Oh, you're watching the game. How's the game going? Hey, what's up, Philip? How are you, brother? What's going on? Yeah, you know what? I'm not a sports person, so I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but Gemma, how are you? Welcome. Cato, glad to see you, man. It's freaking cold out there. Good morning from the UK. Oh, 11, yeah. Andy Marshall, yeah. We're about to bring him in here, and we're gonna get to know him and talk about his book and a couple other spooky things. It's gonna be interesting. How you doing, Philip? What's going on, man? Yeah. Oh, and Philip, I went and found that your video that has 140K, man. Congrats on that. That was a how-to video, right, on the remote controls for the Canon camera. And how are you doing, Joe? How cold is it in your neck of the woods? Cato says, I'm losing a bet, but it'll be a good call. Yo, what time did the game start? Did it start at 5? I think it started at 5, right? Oh, it's 2 in the morning. Yikes. Well, it's about to be 8 o'clock over here. Yeah, it's freezing. I don't know, the temperature might have gone up, but right now it's -4. Oh my God, Jojo, how are you? How are you doing? I hope you're not. Are you working or what are you doing? Gemma, -3. Yeah, I know. No, it's crazy, right? Yeah, and then we got more snow coming too. It's kind of ridiculous. Started at 5:30, man. Where you want? Kato? I'm curious. Where do you watch the? I don't know why you're not blue. Let me make you blue, brother. Where are you watching the game from? Because I mean, do they have like a cardboard cutouts? I mean, I don't know. Or are they letting people do stuff? Let's see. Jojo says no. You're at home. Okay. Are you staying warm? Because it's like super cold. Did you go out today, Jojo? I was out in this stuff. Ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, you're 15 degrees, says Philip. Yeah. And man, we're getting more snow, I guess. I guess Monday through freaking Friday, we're going to get more snow. So it gets cold, we get more snow. It's just. Jojo's at home. You're trying, okay. Oh, is the heat on? I hope the heat's on, you know. Oh, you worked yesterday. Okay, gotcha. Oh, you have a cold beer, man. You're just a rebel, aren't you? Kato's got a cold beer. What else does everybody have as a drink? Oh, it was terrible. I know. Thanks for checking out that video, Frank. You never know. I know that's awesome, and it did great. Hey, Creator Crossroads, what's going on, brother? So you got your channel back, or you started a brand new one, right? Guys, if you don't know Creator Crossroads, go check them out. Previously, Creator Renegades, right? Am I Creative Renegade? I forgot what you call it. We have snow for the next few days. Yeah, I know. Same here. Yeah, did you see that? That was when I was at work this morning, actually. Yeah, there you go. Andy says coffee. Yo, Mordecai Lacrosse. Hey, now that you're here, Mordecai, I was gonna ask you, do you want to come in and do an interview sometime? What do you think, Mordecai? I think that'll be great. You got a lot of good stories, man, and you're right up the alley with the ghost stuff, man, spooky stuff. Philip, man, so you drink tequila like literally from the moment you wake up. And you just, and what was it that you said earlier that you add Tabasco sauce in it? That can't be, I don't know, man. That's like something you would put in your car, like gas. Tequila and Tabasco sauce just to get it running right in the middle. Creator of Crowd is starting over. Yeah, but at least, you got a good metric of how to get it to take off. You know. Oh, Gemma is yeah. Do you want me to tell him what happened, or do you want to tell him? Hey, Arts is fun with Killy. How are you? Welcome. Yellow. Mm-hmm. I get a laugh out of all the posts and polls you do, buddy. No, I have fun with it too. What do you say, Frank? I would love to be on your show at some. Yeah, Mordecai. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm just gonna bring you in. Just I'm gonna bring in Andy Marshall. Do you guys know Andy Marshall, by the way? Do you know who he is and what he's all about? You must have seen him on the chat at some point. But he's going to tell us about his book, and he's going to tell us some spooky stories, too. So maybe in about 5 minutes. So, Andy, if you're watching, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to bring you in. Yeah. How are you? Says Creators Crossroad. Yeah, no, he's doing fantastic. We're about to talk to him. Yeah, so, Gemma, yeah, I think that that was a video or two that somebody didn't like, and I think the whole channel got taken down, unfortunately. But, you start over. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with starting over. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. But Mordecai Lacrosse, he does a lot of. By the way, if you guys want to go check him out, Mordecai Lacrosse does a lot of spooky, strange stories, and he covers a lot of ground. So we're in this realm of spooky. That we like to do the spooky. Jojo, you still here? Oh, you want this T-shirt? Yeah, this is Evil Vitch. She pops into the chat. Yep, there you go. And then it's got, it's like he's walking in the sunset. Yeah, I know, it's a very cool shirt. It's probably one of my favorite shirts. Yep. Annie Marshall says, "Hi, Creator Crossroads." Yeah. Okay, she's still here. Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, so Jojo, are you into spooky stuff? Because Annie Marshall's going to talk to us about some spooky stuff. Yeah, we're going to bring him in a few minutes. Tom Girl City, what is up? How are you? How's it going? Awesome. Thank you, Jojo. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, we're gonna bring him in just a few minutes. Andy, give me a thumbs up, and I'll bring you in, and we can start the chat. Yeah, Philip, that's awesome. Yeah, we're about to kick this off. So as soon as Andy gives me the okay, we'll bring him in, and I'll introduce him to you guys, and you can say what's up. Yep. I think a lot of you guys know. Jojo, do you know Andy Marshall? He's such an awesome guy. I did do awesome. Thank you. Evil Vitch is here. Hello, gorgeous. Thank you for joining me. Wow. Okay, he's ready to go, guys. So let's bring him in, and we'll introduce Mr. Andy Marshall. I'm excited. This is exciting. I can't wait for you guys to meet him. All right, what is up, brother? How you doing?
Good. How's that screen orientation looking?
We're doing all right, man. Yeah, you might have to flip yourself.
Are you?
There you go, and then do it. Yes. Oh, there you go.
Hey.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Mr. Andy Marshall, welcome to the show, man. Pleasure to have you here. I think this is the first time having you here, right? Because the last time it was on Instagram Live. Is that where we were at?
Yeah, Instagram Live. Yeah.
So this is your first time on YouTube, and everybody, please welcome Mr. Andy Marshall, man. What such a pleasure to have you here, man. Wow, you're an amazing creator, an amazing friend. I've known you for quite a while, actually, and I think I'm not sure. I think it was YouTube, and you were doing the black and white short videos. Fork in the Road. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Fork in the Road. I feel pretty uncomfortable being in color, I have to say. I don't know if you can do anything.
Hey, me too, because I used to go black and white, pretty much in all my live streams. And so yeah, this is a bit different. So I'm gonna give you the floor. Do you want to tell everybody in the chat who you are and what you're all about?
Yeah, well, so my name's Andy Marshall. A couple of years ago now, I started something on YouTube called Fork in the Road, which was kind of like my career pivot experiment. I was trying to I closed down my business, and I wanted to do something creative. I worked out, and I was kind of documenting the whole journey online. I did a podcast, 1-minute vlogs on YouTube and Instagram, and eventually I kind of worked out that I wanted to pursue doing kids book illustrations, and someone on YouTube, Elijah and Crumpet, saw that, and they said, "Hey, we're thinking of doing a book. Do you want to do our book?" So that's kind of the awesome thing about being creative online and telling the world what you're up to, because you might just get a job out of it, which is pretty cool. So at the moment, I'm just kind of finishing up the edits on that book. It's taken a hell of a long time because I started off as a stay-at-home dad. Now I'm a lawn mowing guy. I've got two kids, and so I'm kind of illustrating the book at night time and in between jobs, and fitting it in where I can. And it's taken a while, but I'm getting there.
No, it's totally cool to see the process. You know what I mean? And you're mostly doing it on your iPad, or what is it? What is it that I see you doing your time lapses with? Because Andy shares he shares all his process, most of it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and usually in a time lapse. So what are you using? Is that a pad, or what are you using for that?
Yeah, so my art process is I sketch out on paper to start with, and then I photograph that, and I do the coloring using Adobe Illustrator Draw. So it's not Adobe Illustrator, it's Adobe Illustrator Draw, which is a phone app. And
nice.
So I'm doing all the coloring on my iPhone 7. On my phone, it's not even a big screen phone; it's a small screen phone.
That's okay,
but it just takes forever. So, I think before the next book, I'm going to invest in an iPad so I can be able to move through the coloring quicker.
Oh wow!
Because I think it's definitely hampered my progress. But I wanted to prove to myself, and I suppose other people, that you can illustrate a kid's book, from your phone.
Yeah.
It's and yeah, I've pretty much done that. The only problem is with the Adobe Draw app on your phone is that it only lets you export low-res imagery. So it turns out I did have to pay for something in the end. I had to pay for a subscription for Adobe Illustrator so I can export high-resolution page.
But you'll get to use it for other stuff too. Once you're done, you can use it for other things. So that's not a, yeah, man. I think it's awesome. And did you have previous illustration stuff before this, or is this something you just decided that you wanted to try for the first time?
Yeah, well, my business, which I shut down, which was a business I created, which was a traveling cinema business, traveled all over our state and the neighboring states, screening outdoor movies and stuff like that. And prior to that, I studied filmmaking, and when I was at filmmaking school, because I could kind of draw sort of, I ended up doing everybody's storyboards, and I have this tendency to draw a bit like a kid, and the fact that I had a kid at the time, I thought, and I'm reading kids' books to my daughters, I'm going, hang on a minute, I could kind of I can see how this could be fun and creative, and and a little bit like filmmaking, because it's, you know, a lot of kids' books can be like a storyboard. You know, you're laying out the scene and you're choosing what you're looking at and choosing your camera angle and all this kind of stuff. So, so I've got quite into the idea of doing kids' books. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Just real quickly, I want to say hello to Creator Crossroads. Smiley Rissa is here. Cato Lopez, Mordecai Lacrosse, Evil Vitch, Jojo. Just a real quick roll call. Philip says most new iPhones are faster than your PC or Mac, which is, you know, I just started to. I actually just got an iPad recently, and I'm just starting to learn how to use it. The demo. So that's really interesting. Oh, Anunnaki the One. Hello, people of the planet Earth. Hello, Artemorbid. Welcome. That's awesome. And how far away do you think you are from like nearing your goal of completing the book? Is that like you still got like a few months, another year, or what is your projection?
I'm hoping a couple of weeks, but I could be sadly mistaken. But basically, there's about 3 double-page spreads which just need a bit of grammar changed, a bit of, you know, a little bit of editing here and there, just doing the final edit stuff. But then I'm kind of heading into new territory because myself and Elijah and Crumpet are working in the Ingram Spark self-publishing platform.
Yeah.
And we're kind of, you know, uploading it in the correct formats and putting on covers and putting on the barcodes and all this kind of stuff. So like it's figuring out stuff we haven't done before. So, you know, but once we've done it, we'll know how to do it. And, you know, we'll be able to help anyone else out who wants to do that same process.
Wow. So are you gonna do physical copies as well as like digital downloads?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Jojo says she's got an iPad, you know, so I'm just saying that I may need your info and to teach me something.
She got a free iPad.
Yeah, right. So yeah, right, free. Yeah, because I just started learning it, you know, like because I got it mainly for streaming on Amazon. So you can live stream on Amazon, but they make it so that you can't use anything else at the moment. You have to go with Apple product. You know, so I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just do the switch and go in, you know, get the iPad. So I've been doing that as well. So the book, that's awesome, man. So you guys are gonna do like a launch campaign? Like you guys gonna do like a promotional thing before it's released? Are you planning on doing some kind of you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a because we did a Kickstarter campaign to get the book launched, to get it happening, and we wanted to raise about $1,000. We ended up raising about $3,500. Because those who don't know, Elijah and Crumpet featured a father who is a puppeteer and does the Crumpet character, and his young boy Elijah, who has Down syndrome, and they do a lot of interesting segments and things like that. It's basically raising awareness around Down syndrome, and so there's a big community there that kind of helped with the Kickstarter. They're all in the email list, and there's a lot of people, not to make me nervous because I've been like, you know, there's a lot of people waiting to see this thing, but yeah, the funny thing is because we started with the Kickstarter, I've been documenting the entire journey.
Yeah,
the whole year has been like a launch, you know.
You know, that's true. That's true because every time you know, wherever I jump in, since we're connected with like to Twitter and Instagram, you know, I have gotten to see the process, you know, so it's not only me. And then I know that you do collaborations with other like artists and people like that. You do other like interviews, right? Like on Instagram with other creators, you know. So
yeah,
they've probably been following your journey along just like I have, you know. And then like everybody here is not now going to get to know you, and it's probably going to be interested in being like, oh, this is very cool. And then once it comes out, you know, it might attract the attention of some other people and be like, hey, we have this idea, and you know, because there's not a whole lot of people. I mean, it's here's a lot of people that draw, but it's a very small amount, you know, as opposed to people that don't draw, who are story writers, who are looking for people who can draw, you know.
Yeah,
So it may,
yeah,
you know, be like, hey, we got another story, you know, for
yeah.
you to illustrate.
And I think there might be a lot of people being stopped by not being the kind of illustrator that they wish they were. Like, you know, I kind of wish I could do some amazing works like I see on Instagram. I see some absolutely mind-blowing artwork on Instagram for kids' books. But, you know, I can do a certain thing and I can do a certain level. And I think, you know, if you just work to your strengths and be unique with your style, I think that's fine. And then you develop yourself along the way. I think I got inspired by an Instagram site where an artist, a graphic designer, basically finishes off his kids' sketches in real life, and so like recreations, like Photoshop recreations of the kids' drawing. So like there'll be this like 5-legged cow with, you know, eyes all skew if and stuff like that. And I think that really looks cool for a kid's book anyway. Like you don't have to like when kids are reading books, it's just fun, you know.
Wow.
So it's a good
No, go ahead.
So I think kids' books kind of gives you the artistic license to not be that, you know, picture perfect artist who can recreate a dot drawing which looks like a photograph. You know what I mean?
Right. So let's see. Evilvich says that she can't draw, can't write. She's just an ultimate stalker fan. But can you tell somebody that like it's just starting out? Like let's say they haven't really picked up a pencil to, like, what would be something that you can share that like just makes you like, what makes you like get up and you're like, and you see this blank canvas or whatever it may be, whether it's paper or the iPhone, whatever. What inspires you? Do you look around, or does it come from your mind, or do you see things out? What brings that initial inspiration when you first start out?
I think it comes from, I've got a real love for movies because I've come from a movie background. And the most exciting part of the entire process for me is when you're taking that first script and you're looking at the script and you're reading what's in the scene, what people are saying, and you're choosing what's in the frame. You know, are you looking from above? Are you looking from below? You know, you can make something happy or sinister or whatever just by the way you're looking at it. And that kind of stuff, like if you go back on my YouTube channel, I've documented myself storyboarding those very first stages, those first little scribbles, and that's where the kind of creative juices get flowing, and you kind of think of all the ideas that you can come up with. And because I come from that filmmaking background, that's the stuff that I love. So yeah.
Wow, that's perfect. Did you hear that, Evilvich? I think that's, or for anybody here, same thing with artists, Fun with Keely. She's an artist too. So, you know, yeah, it's a matter of like thinking of the frame and the environment and what you're in, you know, and just kind of having fun too. Because, you know, I think you were very much inspired by those initial stories that you were reading to your kids. You were looking at those pictures and things, and that you were like, oh, wait a minute, I think that I can do this as well. And then you came up with your own unique characters, you know?
Yeah, and I'm really inspired by simplicity in animation and in artwork. Like, I don't know if you guys get it over there, you've probably got an international audience. There's one called Big Block Sing Song. I recommend you look it up. These guys do 2-minute music clips for kids, but they're also really funny for adults as well.
Wow.
And they're just really simple, like even simpler than South Park, you know. And these characters are basically like 2D blockheads, but it's really funny, really. And when you look at it, the simplicity and the design of these characters is really inspiring. And I get really inspired by how simple you can make it, but still being really, you know, fun with it. Mm-hmm. There's another one I watch with the kids called Hey Dougie, and and the characters in Hey Dougie are like really simple kind of cutout kind of figures, but they're funny and they gets the story across, you know.
That's awesome. So Anunnaki the One is sharing your link. So you have one on Anchor. That's for your podcast, right?
Pretty much.
What other ones? To say Andy Marshall WordPress.com. So that's your
Yeah, that's
official
my website. I think the biggest ones would be the podcast, which is Fork in the Road, YouTube, which is Andy Marshall, and also Instagram is where you'll see all my artwork, which is Andy C. It's Andy C. Marshall or Andy Marshall. I've got Andy Marshall Illustrator. So if you type Andy Marshall Illustrator on Instagram, it will come up and you'll be able to see all the page layouts.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, man. Oracles and Beyond, welcome to the stream. Somebody that's brand new here. That's awesome. Smiley Rissa, thank you so much. She's always been supporting here. It's just an amazing group of people. So let's segue into the spooky and let's hear your spooky story. Let's everybody switch over to the spooky stuff. You know, let's get this thing going.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, you know how kids always have these imaginary friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Drop Dead Fred and all that kind of stuff. And my oldest daughter would start to talk to a character she called Invisible. I don't know if it's off of a TV show or anything like that she might have seen at her grandma's house or anything like that. Anyway, she has quite good conversations with Invisible, but Invisible's not the scary one. She says sometimes she will see other people, and or something weird, and we kind of brush it off, you know, because adults, you're in a hurry, you're doing your thing, and all that kind of stuff, and it was really weird, the timing of this whole thing. Like the town that we live in, which is a old town in the Adelaide Hills, has a Facebook group, and someone a few months before this thing happened said, has anybody seen any ghosts in the main street? And it's funny people would post comments on this Facebook group, and there'd be 2 or 3 comments or something like that. And on that one, there's something like about 95 comments.
Oh my God. Holy cow. Wow.
And the people are going, yeah, because there's 2 pubs on our main street, and there's a police station conveniently behind the pub, which is an old historic building. They're all old historic buildings from late, like about 1890, around that kind of era. And there's a lot of old buildings. There's an abattoir down the end of a road, which they used to heard the train station was one end of the town and the abattoir was the other end of the town, and they used to quite disturbingly run the pigs down the main street to the abattoir. So that's a bit disturbing in itself. Right. And anyway, so lots of people have seen things and had things like slamming doors, things flying off tables, especially in the pubs. The pubs seem to be... do you have pubs there? Is that what they're called? Pub hotels?
Bars.
Yeah.
We call them bars, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. And so I kind of read through that as a bit of half interest and whatever. Then about a couple of weeks later, someone posted just on that idea of ghosts. Has anyone seen, because there's between the pub and there's a restaurant and there's like an alleyway. And he's saying that his 5-year-old kid on a few occasions had seen a tall grey man and a woman, a grey woman wearing something black. And this parent had believed it so much and thought, yeah, this kid is telling me the truth. And because they were talking about ghosts as well, the kids wanted to hear about ghosts, and they said, you know, do you think that's a ghost? And so they obviously do, and so they put it out on Facebook, and people were commenting away. Oh, by the way, this pub is across a train line directly behind our house, just so you know. So it's quite close proximity where we live. And so this post went on a little bit further and said the grey man, the tall grey man, had no eyes or mouth.
Wow.
I'm going, that sounds weird for a ghost. Like, I kind of imagine a ghost's, like, I don't know ghosts personally, but I kind of imagine they have eyes. And it's like,
right,
I think
it's like a specter of like a previous human, so you would think, you know, have the eyes and the mouth, you know.
Yeah. And then at our house, my daughter doesn't read Facebook posts. We didn't talk about that in the house at all. And I think it was about a day prior, or a couple of days prior, she said she saw something, and she mentioned that the tall grey man. So when I read this thing, I just went, I got goosebumps now telling you, like, it comes back.
No, it is weird, man.
Because she'd said the tall grey man, and then I read it and went, oh, and I said, we're kind of saying, you know, where did you see him? And he goes, oh, he's been in the garden and that. Wow. And then she saw him inside the house, looking around the corner of a bedroom door, looking at her, and apparently very high, like the head, like, because I was asking how high.
Oh my God!
How high was this figure? And she's going, taller than you, like really high, like, and like almost as high as the door. And I said, and he said, what does he have? Does he have eyes or a mouth? And he goes, no, he just has a blank face.
Wow.
And and every time I've thought about it or whatever, I'm just completely covered. That first night, I just have wave upon wave of goosebumps just going. And because it's directly behind where we are, but the bit that I don't get, I don't understand. I can understand ghosts. I probably believe there are ghosts. Like I used to see them in my later teen years.
Oh wow.
So that's how come up. But since then, there comes this time where either you're told or you're conditioned that ghosts don't exist, and then you just lose that ability, I think. You know, you get to a point in your life where maybe you just don't see them anymore. And I don't get that feeling at all anymore.
Yeah. Wow, bro. That's pretty wild. Anybody in the chat, what do you guys think about that? So Andy's saying that this particular spirit has no eyes or mouth or anything. What do you guys think that is? And I think Keely says it might be like a demon, which is like, oh my God. I mean, that's interesting. But you're saying you used to see ghosts. Is that like that's what you said, right? You used to see them, or no?
Oh, I've seen ghosts in the past, like when I was in my late teens, in a share house, and it was funny. This house, I'd had at least half a dozen pretty decent experiences in that house, and I remember one night we were out at a pub, just chatting with some new people we hadn't met before, and for some reason we got on the topic of ghosts, and they said, oh yeah, I used to live in this really spooked out house in Unley or whatever. And I said, in Unley, whereabouts? And she'd say, on this street. And go, really? And it turned out this person lived on the same street.
Oh my God.
And the same house. I mean, we exchanged about this old lady and her dog, which lived in this house. and she'd seen the exact same things that I'd seen. Like it was coming out of her mouth. She was saying this old lady and a dog, and I just going, whoa. You see, like I was kind of thinking maybe I'd smoked a bit much or whatever, but it was a definite thing.
Oh my God, man! Wow.
And yeah, but it's funny. I haven't felt that ever since. But I definitely felt with this recent thing.
Yeah.
It's weird when your brain connects to that idea, that concept.
Mm-hmm.
I just have these waves of goosebumps.
Oh yeah, no, I know. When you were telling me when you made, I got goosebumps too. I mean, I've never seen anything myself, but obviously, if you follow my channel, you know that I really am deep into the paranormal and like sharing videos talking about it and all kinds of stuff. You know, even Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like I'm all about the cryptozoology and paranormal UFOs. I just love that topic because it's in that realm of the unknown. You know, and I always love it. So when you started telling me, like when you brought up that thing, I was like, wow, like this is coming from somebody who, you know, you really post about mostly is your book and you're promoting the illustrations and stuff. So to have this story, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely interested. And it's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, the thing about Keely mentions about the demon thing, like that's my initial thought. Like, you know, I've watched Hellraiser and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and stuff like that. I know, you know, like the fact that it doesn't have eyes and a mouth, I'm just going, oh man, that's another level of but it's so tall and grey, just this grey figure.
Wow.
And
then it's coming it's coming from somebody that wouldn't know about that, you know. Wow.
No, he hasn't. We're pretty simple parents. We very rarely put our kids in front of a TV, and so they don't have that exposure to.
Right.
We don't even have a TV in the house.
Wow. Just real quickly, I want to say hi to Chosen Dutch. He just jumped into the chat. Here's another person who is very interesting. Chosen Dutch Angel. He's a security guy who I don't think he's doing the same thing anymore, but he experienced some stuff while doing security for a penitentiary, an abandoned one, you know. So he's got some interesting stories to tell as well. So welcome, Angel, to the chat. Mordecai Lacrosse says, so many people jump to evil or demon or something, looks scary to them, but it's not always the case. I'm not saying it wasn't an evil entity, so that's interesting. I mean, who knows what it is? It's hard to tell. It's definitely paranormal, you know?
Yeah, and so it's hard to know. I mean, the pets don't react. I don't get any vibes like that. I even have gone for a few walks around there by myself, around the hotel, because it's actually shut down. Like it's weird. They started renovating it to turn it into a bed and breakfast, and construction stopped, and no one's been seen there for about another year, and no one knows whether it's being turned into a bed. So I don't know if
just left it. Oh my god!
People doing the bed and went, holy shit, we're not going to turn it into a bed and breakfast.
Damn.
And then
that's very interesting, man. Maybe you might have like the guys from Ghost Adventures come and do a segment over there or something. That's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, but there's a couple of people that are interested in doing something on it. So yeah, there might be something happening. I'm definitely thinking of catching up with the guy whose kids have seen it as well, and having a coffee, just kind of. Because it's just fascinating. Like
it is.
Like I've had that kind of spooky stuff before, but when it's confirmed so concrete in two unrelated kids, two kids which don't know each other,
right?
But they're too young for Facebook. Like that's what really sends shivers down my spine.
No, man, that I think that's awesome, and wow, what a fantastic tale, man. You know, and I'm sure, and there's hundreds and hundreds of these all around, but a lot of people probably, you know, they don't pay attention to the kid. You know, they'll be like, ah, you're just, you know, you're not seeing anything, and they dismiss it, and you know, they really don't pay attention. You know, and
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to like really pinpoint it down. You know, I have a buddy of mine
yeah,
who's a real estate agent, so he goes to a bunch of houses. He's had experiences too. You know, he's a skeptic, uh, but he's had some experiences as well where he has heard voices inside of a house that's supposed to be empty. You know,
yeah,
now he's
right.
got to go like investigate to make sure that there's no squatters in the house, and finds nobody. But he said the voice
Yeah,
would be like right inside the room, which is pretty
yeah.
weird. Tom
That's
Grove
pretty.
City says she's had a lot of ghost experiences in her house, and Dennis Richter says it's a poltergeist. It's like that. See, I never see. A poltergeist is a whole different thing, like where you see like actual objects moving and stuff. And have you ever seen
Yeah.
anything like that? Or I don't think I've ever
Uh,
seen anything like that.
yeah, I have seen stuff like that. I've actually been
Wow.
I have been you know like those shower alcove things
Yeah.
with the sliding, like I got 3 panes of sliding glass,
Yes.
and well, I was in having a shower, and this was in the spooky house, and one of those experiences was I felt this wave of cold presence come over me,
Oh
and like
wow.
I feel there was that ghost because I'd experienced it before, so I knew what it was.
Oh
And
man.
I went getting out of the shower, and I was trying to pull back the shower, and it wouldn't open. And it wasn't the fact that it would jam. There's actually like resistance coming back on the
Oh my
thing,
god.
and it's funny. Your brain explains it away and goes, it must have just been jammed. But remembering back, I could actually feel like a physical resistance pushing it back as I was trying to open it up, and and so
Wow.
like, that's the only thing which I've felt like that's a thing. There's a
Oh my
physical
god.
force.
Man, and that's
Uh,
that happened in the same location that you're talking about.
yeah, and also actually there was another physical thing because one of the other things happened. This old house had a really big veggie garden and a lot of cyclone wire and stuff to fence off the veggie garden. And through one of the gates was like a choker collar. This was the old lady with a dog,
Oh, okay.
but there was a choker collar, and at that time I used to walk my dog using a choke chain to kind of like get them to walk at heel, and one day I couldn't find it, so I used that choke chain off of a fence, and it was really freaky because my dog we went to walk off, and it was just choking. The dog was just going,
Oh my
and there
god.
was no pressure on the lead, and it had done up incredibly tight. Like, I don't know, it could have been just an accident. But then when I heard that the lady said it was an old lady with a dog, I thought,
Oh my god. Wow.
but some kind of, yeah, anyway.
Wow. Wow. That's
Sounds
very
like crazy,
strange.
but
Yeah. No, man, that's awesome. Have you
yeah.
posted on that Facebook group and chimed in and said, hey, you know,
Yeah,
I heard somebody saw something, blah blah blah. I mean, you wouldn't have to say what it was, but you can just kind of like add to it and see
yeah.
if people respond. You know.
Yeah, there's another thing I need to add about. So this pub that we live across the train line from, is there was a murder there too, because we were talking about where the ghosts were, and someone posted this news article from 1910 or something like this,
Wow.
about there was a prostitute who, because they were doing a bit of mining around the area, like gold, looking for gold, and so there was a prostitute in the bar. I don't know if that's the correct term,
No,
to PC term. but anyway, she was getting harassed by some guy in the bar, and she walked off, and he followed, and apparently he came back to the bar later that night with scratches on his face and stuff, and the bartender said that he'd fallen through some bushes.
Oh my God!
And this is in the old news article, but they found her body later, and so there has been been dark stuff happen in that area, despite being a small town in Australia. Dark stuff everywhere.
Wow. Just real quickly, I want to say hi to John Avanti, all the way from New York. Hello, how you doing? They're getting buried in snow, man. Like we're about to get a bunch of snow, but New York, man, they've just been getting pounded and pounded. Like we got hit last week, and then we went down to below zero, and now we're back at a decent temperature, but then it's gonna start snowing again. So it's like you can't win. Well, what's it like in your area right now, Andy? I know you guys had some brush fires, right? Didn't you guys?
Yeah, we were close to evacuating, but we've evacuated many times before, and we're getting a bit exhausted by it. So we kind of opted for having a sleepless night instead. You can monitor the bushfire on your phone, and you can see the area that it's covering. And we've got an emergency radio station that we basically have playing all night. But yeah, there was a big fire heading straight for our place yet again. And yeah, we just monitored it, worked out which way we'd need to go to get out if it got too close. Yeah, it didn't come anywhere near as close as the previous year.
Yeah.
Which was, on our doorstep. Well, not on our doorstep, but a few kilometers away, which is very close.
Wow, that's pretty wild, man. And then you guys have to be like on the ready, so that's kind of hectic. And so that's probably why it's, you're trying to like illustrate the book and everything, and then like this happens, you gotta kind of have to stop, and be like, oh wait, we gotta get packed and ready. I mean, that's rough,
Yeah, I mean, I did find that it did have. It does take a mental toll and the stress. Like we've had a couple of fires, and then of course, everyone's had the pandemic, and this at the start of the pandemic, I was pretty much useless. Like
I think we all were. Yeah,
had such an overwhelming feeling of dread and fear, and I was pretty much just paralyzed by fear, literally, and not knowing, anxiety. But now it's just like, it's a massive pain in the ass. Like, you dread, now it's like a feeling of anger, like, we're bloody over this thing. But at least out of anger, you can get creative. I think when you're in that state of fear and dread and anxiety, it's not a very creative state to be in.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. No, it's the same thing with us. Like we try to stay jamming or practicing, but it became difficult because you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's just one of those things. So I'm gonna start wrapping things up, man. But yeah, that was awesome story, man. Thank you for sharing that with us, man. And like, I'd like to have you on again once your book gets closer to being, done, and then we can kind of catch up a little bit, and see where things are at,
Yeah, I can flash it in front of the camera and show the physical thing. That'd be nice.
That'll be awesome. Like, how big do you think it's gonna be? Like, is it gonna be like a 8x11 or maybe half of that size? 8x11 is like regular.
It's gonna be a square book and quite large. I think it's about 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, so quite a large square. But it's good making square books because it works perfectly for Instagram when you're posting the photos of the pages.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I'm excited, dude, because I've been watching it like, happen, over time, and then to finally see it like, something physical, you know, and I'll love to help promote it, you know, so you can get it out there to more people, you know. I
Yeah,
think
thank
it's,
you very much. You've been very supportive, which is very cool.
and
That's
it's called Elijah and Crumpet, right? Is that the name of the book?
Elijah and Crumpet. Yeah, so if you look up Elijah and Crumpet on YouTube, and they also have a Instagram um, profile as well. So yeah, Instagram and YouTube, and yeah,
That's
it'll be
awesome,
very cool
brother.
to have that out.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Yeah, make sure you follow Andy Marshall on all the medias. I'm sure if you type his name in, or like I just typed in Elijah and Crumpet on the chat. You guys look that up, and you guys, oh, Kimberly Creates. Oh, we're just about to wrap it up, but Kimberly Creates is here, guys. She needs help with some videos. If you guys can go to Kimberly Creates channel, her 6 previous videos, if you can just pick one of those and check out one of those videos, that'll help her out. She was asking for some help to get some views on those videos. That'll be awesome and amazing. Bro, Andy, your story fascinates me, man. And you know, if there's any more like developments, or if you get any further details, man, just let me know. I'm all ears, and I'm sure a lot of people here would love to know all about it. You know, Ness Lover just joined the chat, and yeah, you know, I think a lot of people, most of the viewers here know about you, and you know, I think like it's a noble cause and the book, and to see your creative flow, and I think it'll help a lot of people because you say you like the simplicity of illustrating, you know, and I think like a lot of people have this fear that they think they need to be magnificent at drawing right away. But you don't have to. You can just, you know, draw some dots and lines and start like that, you know, and you can make something really creative out of something very basic. It doesn't have to
Mm,
be,
cool.
you know, I know because we're showing like these amazing artists, right? You know, you're like, look at this and look at this, you know, but you don't have to be that, you know, crazy. You can just start off very basic and not be daunted by, you know,
Yeah,
complicated stuff, you know. So,
yeah. And I said at the very beginning, you're in a way kind of you might not have the skills you want, but you're, in a way you're the most original because no one can draw badly like you can. So so
that's
it's
awesome.
unique.
Cool. Yeah, so Anunnaki, the one is like sending out all your links. He's been putting all the links on there this whole time, which is amazing. So you're on Anchor, Instagram, WordPress. He's putting all your links on there too. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, dude, I'm gonna let you get back to your thing. I'm about to, you know, get some sleep. I gotta get up in the morning and go in the snow and go back to work and all this other stuff, man. But it's awesome talking to you, man. It's been almost a year, I think, since we did this, you know. And so this is awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, I love to have you.
Yeah.
I love to have you come back on and then see where you're at, maybe like in a month or so. You know, let's not wait
Yeah.
another year
Yeah.
in between.
Let's not.
Yeah, awesome,
Yeah. I'll get it up soon.
cool. All right, Andy, I'm gonna let you go, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Cool.
I'll see you, man.
Okay. Get you.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Andy has been amazing. Um, Chatting with him, and you know, he's just such a great creator and artist, and I hope that you guys enjoy what he's doing. I think he's amazing. I've been following him along for a very long time. He's an awesome filmmaker, and I think what he's doing is a very important cause. You know, because you know, there's a lot of kids who have the Down syndrome and stuff. So I think like him making the book and doing all that is it's just amazing. You know, and I love sharing that kind of stuff. You know, I think it's amazing. Let's see. Philip says, "Thank you. I appreciate that, Los." So you guys are talking about a bunch of things. And Nest Lover, oh my God, we talked to Nest Lover the other day. She has some amazing stories. If you guys want to check out her artwork, and I have not forgotten about the Yellow Submarine. Andy's there in the chat. Thanks, Frank, and everyone. It was great to jump on. Yeah, definitely. We'll have you back on again soon. We won't wait too long. And Mordecai Lacrosse, I don't know if you're still here, but I want to bring you back. Actually, back. I shouldn't say back. He's never been on the show, but I would love to speak to Mordecai Lacrosse on here and kind of like talk about some of his. He posts a lot of paranormal and mysterious things, so I think that's amazing. And by the way, guys, Tom Girl City, she's also got some spooky stories to tell. Maybe we can hear some of them at some point. Yeah, definitely. Evil Richard, thank you for helping out. Anunnaki the One for sharing all the links. Jojo for sticking, or everybody that stuck around. Creator Crossroads. You guys are amazing. Thanks for taking time out of your Sunday evening to join me and to listen to Andy's stories. I think it's very it gave me goosebumps because it's like it's people that don't normally talk about paranormal stuff, so to get it from their end, I think it's amazing. So yeah, definitely. All right, guys, I love you. I got to get going though, and I'll be back Wednesday with some photography stuff for you guys. Maybe some more spooky photography. Chosen Dutch, man, I love you, brother. Angel, Philip, you're the best, man. Kimberly, everybody, and yeah, just help out Kimberly. She needs some views on those videos. Which I promised I was gonna do it. I'm gonna do that right now. So, all right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.